Hey guys, what is up? Today we are going to take a look at the highest end thing that we have viewed so far on this channel, and I think you guys are going to love this. We have got ourselves a hot toy. We've got the DX08 Jack Nicholson Joker. So let's go ahead and view this box and take a look at what we got here. So just looking at that box, that is a magnificent, like, just displayable box. Like, I mean, flat black, just great box. The Joker. This is a really great figure. I love this thing. Purple, and at the top, purple. So cool thing about this is we have got a little magnetic flap to open it up. So what we have got here on the inside is we have got a little inscription here. Let's see if we can do this. If you want to pause that to read that, this is a 1/6 scale, like most of the Hot Toys. And then we've got a lovely little quote. It comes with this little coaster-y kind of thing. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Not sure why it would come with a coaster or what else that is really supposed to be used for, but it's a coaster. So then we get to remove this here and just look at this. No flash. Flash. I mean, just look at that face there. Like, that is a face to die for right there, or a face to live for. Like, just the immense detail we got on this face here. Look at those eyes, mouth. Like, the closer you get, like, I mean, like, it's just like you're looking at a real person almost. Like, that's so amazing. And then of course we've got the fabric suit. Coat does open up. He's got his trousers and everything else. And we haven't even taken this figure out of the box yet to look at him, and just right there, just, I mean, that's impressive. Impressive display. This goes like right there. But let's go and lay him down and take a look at what we got. I'm going to apologize right now because this video is going to be long, because we're going to take our time and go over everything this guy has to offer. And right there we have got the hat, and this is a felt velvet hat. Like, I mean, this is great. Look at the sparkle on that. That's great. Everything's in these nice styrofoam, like, everything's protected. We've got extra hands here. We've got, like, just look at these, even these hands. I mean, these are immaculate. Got a nice little pointy one. Little trigger finger there. We have got a nice little gripping hand. Whoop. Nice little kind of slightly open palm. Now, of course, we've got our high fivers. And just to look at that other one. Over here we have got, can't have Joker without our poison flower, now can we? That was a great little piece there, and it just has this nice little clip. You could clip right into his pocket, and yes, he does have pockets. Like, that's just great. So push that back in there. Let's go ahead and just pull this whole styrofoam out, and we can take a look at what's underneath. We have got a ton of accessories here, a whole other outfit to change into, and then we've got this nice little display base. So let's go ahead and pull everything out and take a look at it. So starting off with the accessory box here, we have got a whole other vest to go on him here. We've got this nice little teal one. We've got a whole other coat that has a more open aspect to it. Everything about this is so nice. Now, I'm not going to change him because changing these guys are kind of a pain. But we've got our figure here, and we'll go over that in a second. But as you can see, he's got the orange shirt. He's got suspenders. And you can take this coat off of him. Now, we'll go over everything about this figure after we go over these accessories because we want to set them up on our base. Before we get into that, let's just go over some of the accessories we got here. If we can get that out. If we can get any of these out. Now. Okay, we're having issues there. So let's start off with some of the easier things to pull out. I'm making this a terrible review now because I can't pull accessories out. We have got our toy walkie-talkie here. Nice. Then we have got our little radio. Nice. Now we'll use this to pull out our bang gun. So, we have got a gun that goes bang. And we do actually have a little action here. And I believe that the trigger does pull as well. I'm not 100% on that. But let's go ahead and pull out that back. We have got our long gun. Anybody that's a fan of these movies will remember the long gun. Straight out the trousers. That is a long barrel gun. That is a great accessory. And we do have that trigger action on that as well. Now, we have got, if we can get it out. There we go. Simple, but nice cane. Because what is Joker without his cane? That is a great little piece there. Now, I do know Hot Toys is hit or miss on accessories. These ones are pretty good. I mean, in my opinion, these accessories are more of a NECA quality kind of thing. That you'd get a higher end NECA, not a lower end NECA. When NECA actually does their shit right, kind of accessories. These are really nice. But I have seen Hot Toys release a lot better figures with accessories. We've got ourselves a little chatterbox with a spring in it. No, I don't believe this actually winds up or anything, but no. That's just for show. But we do have that spring in there, so that's nice. And then we've got ourselves a Megaphone. Now, when I talk about these accessories being more a NECA quality, I'm talking they're all plasticky, and I've seen them do a lot of metal and fully functioning loading guns and stuff like that with the Terminators and stuff, and I'm not disappointed by any means in all these accessories. Gas mask, and I do not believe it actually fits on his face, at least not freestanding, but he never really wore it in the movie. He kind of just held it up to his mouth. We've got some bundles of money here. And these are pretty great. If we want to focus, I'm having terrible issues today, apparently, with my camera and its focus. Now, these are individual bills. you can slide them out of that bundle if you wanted to. I don't know why we cannot focus today. Just another bundle. I think this one's a little thicker. Now I do have 2 empty slots here. I'm not sure if anything was supposed to go here or not, but let's move on to the base. We have got, tells you the Joker, you know, it's a deluxe. We've got these little lights here, and these are actually little spotlights, and you can move them and position them the way you want them. And there is a little on-off switch. So the light is a nice feature, but the light is not as bright as you would be led to believe. Like, it's not going to really like illuminate out your figure. Like, this is just a little, here's your figure kind of thing. User guide. That's nice. Give you a user guide. Let's see here. They tell you a little bit about the figure and its accessories, and yes, his eyes do move. There is a lever in the back of his head allowing you to move his eye position. Ah, okay. So the coastery thing, you can use a flashlight, make your own little Joker signal, bat signal thing. That's cool. So nice that we have a little user manual to tell us that now, isn't it? That's pretty cool. The stand does take batteries, 3 AAAs. And then it's going to tell us everything again in a different language. But yeah, that's nice. Now then, on to the base. Now we have got our little stand here. It actually goes this way, and it just clips right on in. Just like that. Now, I always end up having to take this piece out, flipping it around, and just sliding it back in. And this is going to hold our figure by the dick. Yes, I said by the dick. Ain't nothing wrong with a little dick grab, now is there? We do want to slide up that crotch a little bit there. Alright, so we have got Jack Nicholson sitting here for an interview. Like, this is a great, great figure. Now, it's just to show you here, since my flash decides it's not wanting to work today, that light not really doing much. But it is a nice feature. So, with a lot of Hot Toys, we've got a ton of different articulation that we can do. Now, let's just see if we can get a little better focus if we throw that behind him. I don't know why we're having such issues today. Let's see if, like, dirty maybe. I don't know. So, we've got great articulation on everything. Like, you know, the hands, we've got great movement. We've got twisting, bending. We've got up and down. The only thing with these Hot Toys is a lot of the clothing and attire that they do come with usually restricts that movement a lot. But let's go ahead and show you this really neat feature. If we look at the back here, you can kind of already see it. The back of his head, magnetic. This lever will control his eye movement. So if we move it, get ready for the creep show. Like, that is just really, really spooky and nice. Like, give him a nice little tilt here. That is great. That is great. And like I said, magnetic, that just snaps right back in. Now, there's a lot you can do with these figures. The Hot Toy line is great for posability. I will state that the posability that you're going to get depends upon the Hot Toy. Like, this guy's not too bad. You gotta do a lot of adjusting to his outfit as you try to position him. Because it will like ride up on him, and like you kind of have to like adjust his arm and then like pull down stuff, and like, you know, trying to get it to look more natural, more normal. Like the Predator I got, like, doesn't really have that issue, but he does got some clunky bits that constrict him a bit. Michael Keaton Batman, I don't want to say is a terrible figure, but they went for a straight screen accuracy suit. So his suit is very latex rubbery. So when you try to position him, like, you know, you move his arm like this, and as soon as you let go, it goes right back to default positioning because of that rubber. Makes it really hard for him to hold any kind of position because the suit just wants to yoke him back down. So I really like the actual like clothing and cloth that this guy has. You know, he doesn't have that problem. God, I don't even know where to start with this guy. I mean, like, just pose him around and show off, I guess. Like, he's just a really, really great figure. I mean, if you're not sold already just by that, I mean, let's throw on that hat there. And, like, right there, you've got Jack Nicholson, totally gangster. And a lot of the things with these figures, all these Hot Toys and everything, is like you kind of have to mess around and like find a pose that really brings him to life. That's the whole thing with a lot of these figures. Like, you find a pose that just brings them to life and makes them like jump off like the stand and everything. It's amazing. But if you just like pull him out of the box and set him up, like, I mean, he's like still an impressive figure along with all the Hot Toys. But if you just like, you know, like throw them on a shelf somewhere or like pull them out of a box and just look at them, like, it's like, huh. But if you get them in just the right pose, like, I'll pose them about a few times and show you what I mean. Like, I love this pose in particular. Like, this is how I usually end up positioning him, doing something with his hat and his head and him just kind of like, you know, top the morning to you kind of thing. But as you can see, I just quickly rushed and set him up in a basic little position here to show you, just so that we were all able to see. But you can see that his coat, he's kind of pulling down, and you can fix this. It's just tedious to work with these figures. But I mean, if you're going to spend the kind of money on these guys, like, I think this guy's going for around $800 right now on eBay because, you know, they don't make them anymore. And that's the thing with a lot of the Hot Toys. Like, you know, you get these great figures that they come out with, but they, you know, they don't make a lot of them. And pretty much if you don't pre-order them, like, that price is just going up. Like, I've been wanting to get one of the Iron Mans, and like, I haven't seen a single one underneath $400. Like, I think most of them usually run for about around $250, like, on pre-order. But as soon as they come out, man, like, they just jack up in price, and they're definitely something that's going to hold their value. I mean, I'd dance with him in the pale moon light. Like, that's just amazing. And the really, 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 really cool thing about these guys is, like, I mean, like, that's legit trousers he's wearing. It's not just some random bullshit. So, I mean, like, we're just gonna throw that gun down on in there. And, like, you could recreate that scene and everything. Like, we could pull this whole coat off of him if we wanted to. Like, that is an actual shirt that he's wearing underneath. Like, I mean, these figures are so great. I love Hot Toys. I don't like spending the money. Won't lie to you. But, you know, what you end up getting is just, like, you kind of forget that, like, okay, like, I just dropped, like, my entire mortgage payment on a figure. But, you know, Like, they're just that great. I don't know really what all I could like sit here and say about him, because I could just sit here and play with him all night long. And I mean, I'm one-handing this, so like he keeps falling over because I haven't actually positioned him on that base properly. But there's so much that you could do with these guys. Like, you know, I could pull his hand in. I could have him hold open his coat. I could have him reach for his gun. I could sit here and take any of these other accessories and give them to him, you know, like I could like go ahead and give him cash real quick. And just like kind of like slide that in his hand. I mean, it's not even the right hand for that, but I mean, there's just so much that you can do with these figures. And it's just like, I mean, you find that scene that really clicks to you, and like you just recreate it. Like, you know, you've got the other suit here you can put on him. Like, you can take off all of his clothes and like redress him. Things that I would like to talk about with that is, let's see if we can see this here. Now, as you can see here, some of them are buttons, some of them aren't. They got that kind of snap button style, but the stitching on a lot of the clothing for like the buttons is not the greatest. You got to be very careful, and you kind of want to really like dig your nail in between things to pop them open, because you can very easily rip off one of these buttons and everything. That's the only kind of, I don't even want to say low quality to it or anything like that, like, but it is kind of a bummer when like you spend $400 on a figure and like you run into like little tailoring issues. I mean, it's very minor, because like these clothes are so well made, like the material and the fabric, like I mean, these are not going to just like wear down on you. Like, you know, I mean, he's going to be wearing that outfit, like that's plain and simple. Like, you know, it's not gonna really rip on you unless you're being like super excessive with everything. Like, it is like very well crafted clothing. It's just like the buttons, the clips, like, you know, like the stuff like that. Like, I mean, like he's even got buttons on his pants. He has buttons on his coat here, so you can close it up if you want to. Thing that I'm most worried about with like swapping out his clothes is like, you know, losing a button or something, because I'm no seamstress. I'm not gonna like fix that. I'm just gonna be like, oh man, I'm out. Like their pockets, like they do have pockets. Like, you know, I think he might even have pockets on his pants somewhere. Actually, no, I don't think he does have pockets on his pants. I thought he did. Huh. Well, minor thing. His coat has pockets. He's got 3 pockets on his coat. But yeah, there's just too much that you can do. I mean, just like that head sculpt is perfect. It's great. I don't know what else to really say about him, so we're going to go ahead and just like show you his hands and transitioning those off. And what I like about it is that they aren't actually difficult to remove. Like, they're not going to fall out on you like just on their own randomly. They're not going to just like randomly fall and come out and worry about losing them. And his hands are super easy to replace, and he does come with replacement joints, which I like, because I mean, let's be honest, how many times have we had like a figure with interchangeable parts and been like, oh man, we need another one? So what I usually do with this is I usually just like kind of bite down around it very gently, like, you know, not to leave any marks. So I'll just take this piece here and just kind of satisfying little pop, but then you just plug in. So as you can see, this focus today, this piece is what goes inside the arm, This piece is what goes inside the hand. Why do we have no focus today? This is driving me nuts. Focus on everything that I don't want to focus on. You get the general gist. It's very easy to manage, very easy to deal with, so. Just gonna pop that in there. And it's in, and we're ready to attach a hand. So we're gonna do this one-handed here. Oh, I think we're putting back on the same hand we just took off, but whatever. I can't do this one-handed. See if we can get this in frame. And voila, hand attached. And that does give you that wrist movement, so you got to be careful about how you actually put that in there. But it's not a big deal. These you can just kind of twist around till you get like the wrist where you want it. So let's go ahead and see if we can frame you in here, and then we're going to fix this real quick. Now this is very much like something that you just kind of want to pick a pose, display it, and like just have fun with it, you know? Like, I mean, it's not something that you really want to play around with day in, day out, you know? Like, I mean, we're not 12 and what's what we got, like, NECAs and McFarlane's for, right? Like, I mean, if we want to, like, move things around, like, you want to make, like, a diorama for this guy, or, like, just have him in your showcase, you know? Like, I mean, go around, pick a different pose, like, every other week or something, so when company comes over, they just look at him like, that's great, you know, because he's superb. Like, I have no real complaints outside of, like, I just wish clothing was a little bit easier to work with. But like, that's nothing to do with like quality or anything like that, like, because like we've already gone over, this quality is amazing. And like, as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of pulling that coat back down to his hand, and as I move that up, I want to keep doing that. So every time I kind of reposition him, I kind of want to just keep working with that, keep that coat looking sharp on him. Like, we've got it all twisty here, but that's essentially what you're gonna do with him. Let's just say hi. Like, I love it. Love it. He's just a great figure. So yeah, Jack Nicholson, guest star.